This situation keeps getting crazier and crazier as more reports are revealing some very interesting details surrounding Giannis and his trade situation, as a report from an executive has come out revealing some interesting destinations. Sort of break that down in this episode, as well as discuss Chris Middleton. We have an update on his front. Before we get into it, quick reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you're a part of the 80% who aren't subscribed and you enjoy daily Bucks content, this is the place to be. So make sure to smash that subscribe button. But let's dive right into it. We all know the Bucks, they play tomorrow, and they've lost a lot of games recently. They're 1-6 now, and they're at the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But even though they are at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, one thing that has stayed the same are rumors surrounding Giannis Antetokounmpo. And you can see this here. A new report has come out, and we're going to dive into an absolutely absurd trade proposal as well that got revealed. But you can see this here from Andy. A Western Conference League source told NJ Advanced Media of Giannis, the only places I can see him going are Miami or the Clippers. The executive listed Miami, Brooklyn, Houston, LA as teams I've heard linked to Giannis. So this is, of course, regarding the fact that obviously the Bucks are in a very rough spot right now. We know Giannis came out and basically said if they don't do well this season, he could be on the trade block. He could be on the trade block by the deadline. And people and fans of other teams specifically are just continuing to fire up the idea of Giannis Antetokounmpo being traded out of Milwaukee. Now, as we all know, us Bucks fans, we don't think it's not a possibility. Like, I highly, highly doubt that they trade Giannis Antetokounmpo unless he demands a trade. Like, at this point, I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to trade Giannis because they want to get assets or anything like that. And even if they continue to free fall down the East, again, they haven't been healthy, and we have an update on Chris Middleton, which is a little bit concerning. But regardless of that, I think that Giannis, we've heard these trade talks for years, and it's going to stay the same in the sense of people are always going to be talking about the Milwaukee Bucks and trading Giannis. It's something that's going to be happening for now. It's going to be happening up until the deadline. It's going to be happening all offseason as well, even next year. So it's something that's never going to get rid of. It's never going to slow down. That being said, this is an interesting report. So an executive came out and linked Miami, Brooklyn, Houston, and the Clippers as the teams he's heard linked to Giannis. And it's interesting in the sense of it hasn't really gotten this far in the sense of an executive coming out and linking teams to Giannis. And it's because of how bad the Milwaukee Bucks have been. We know they've been very, very bad thus far this season. And it comes down to the fact that if you want these talks to stop, and if you're a Bucks fan out there, we all are, but if you want these talks to stop, the Bucks need to play better. Like, it's no secret that I don't think Giannis is going, Giannis lives and breathes Milwaukee. He's done a ton for the community, probably the most of any Milwaukee Buck athlete and player ever. But that being said, it's not beyond him to maybe request a trade, or the Bucks look to move in a different direction. I mean, they ultimately made that Drew Holiday trade, which hasn't really paid off yet. And it's interesting that these are the teams that are linked to it. And an article dropped, and get a load of this one. So Nets predicted to cut ties with a $177 million guard to acquire Bucks superstar. Now, and I know this is a little bit crazy, and this isn't a report, but it's kind of just to show how crazy the situation has got for the Milwaukee Bucks and other fans. So you look at this. $177 million guard. That is Ben Simmons, by the way. So FanSided's Michael Shawns predicted the following trade could take place if Giannis requests a trade out. The Nets receive Giannis Antetokounmpo. The Bucks receive Ben Simmons, Cam Thomas, their own first-round pick back, a 2026 first-round pick, and a 2029 first-round pick. Absurd, by the way. For one, this is not going to get you close to what Giannis Antetokounmpo would want. Now, again, it is 3 first-round picks. One of them is their own, which is usually, in theory, more valuable, even though I think the Bucks, again, if they trade Giannis, they'll be in a rough spot. But I think in any deal that the Bucks even remotely consider trading Giannis Antetokounmpo, it would be a package similar to what the Clippers gave up to get Paul George, which was, of course, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 5 unprotected firsts. Here, you're getting no one even close to Shai. I mean, you could argue Cam Thomas has great scoring ability and has great upside, but he is not enough to center a deal where you're also taking back a bad contract in Ben Simmons, and then you're getting 3 first-round picks. So let me know in the comments. Again, I brought this up just to show how ludicrous things have gotten surrounding the Milwaukee Bucks. People who want Giannis to leave Milwaukee and they want the Bucks to trade. Like, this is just one of a handful of trade. We've seen some online with Houston. We've seen a lot of rumors regarding, of course, the Heat and Jimmy Butler swap, see if they can trade competitive windows, which is interesting, which will pair Dame and Jimmy Butler together, which is something that we'll dive into in a future video. But Their explanation for this is in an attempt to put icing on this deal, the Nets can include 3 future firsts, one of which originally belonged to Milwaukee. Simmons' inclusion is to match the salary. Thomas and the draft capital are the true value in the deal. It remains to be seen if Thomas can be the number one. The Nets will begin to build around Giannis with plenty of cap space heading into the season. However, the question is, would Giannis embrace a rebuilding roster in Brooklyn? Like, it is crazy. I do not think this is near enough for what it's worth, and I also don't think it's even worth talking about the fact that headlining a Giannis Antetokounmpo deal with Ben Simmons, it's a little bit absurd to me. And again, as you look at the depth chart here, the Bucks need to get better. They need to get better fast. Gary Trent Jr. has been an abomination. They need to start AJ Green. We saw DeLon Wright fall down the depth chart at the start of the year. He was the backup point guard. Now it's AJ Green. Could he factor in and play shooting guard, play alongside Dame? Or you should, whether you want to consider technically Dame the 1 or 2, doesn't really matter in this situation. Do you want to pair Damian Lillard and AJ Green alongside each other? It is a very real possibility. They need to change something. And we'll get in the Chris Middleton update in a minute here. There's just a lot of things that are ongoing now. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this report. Things are getting crazier. It's getting a little bit scary. And again, this one right here is absolutely absurd. And let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on that. But surrounding Chris Middleton here, there remains no timetable for Chris Middleton's return amidst the Bucks' 1-6 start. So, and I've seen some fans talk about it saying, hey, maybe the Bucks are just hiding the fact that he's going to be out for the entire year. I don't think that's the case, but I think they're dealing with a much more serious injury than we originally thought. We thought he was going to be ready for opening night. We thought he was going to be questionable for opening night. It was a bit concerning that he missed the last couple preseason games. But boy, oh boy, has this injury turned into something a lot worse than that. No timetable, which means we don't know if he's going to be back for the next game. We don't know if he's going to be back for the game after that. And as you look at the team, like I just showed you, it is a team that is in desperate need of another scorer, a desperate need of something, some chemistry to get going. As you look at their bench, again, defensively they've been horrible, but as you look at their bench, they have their worst bench net rating this season. And whether that's because they're playing guys who shouldn't be, because the Chris Middleton is hurt, you slide up some guys. I don't even think it's that. Again, let's say you get Damian Lillard, AJ Green, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook. Okay, let's say that's the starting rotation. Then you have Gary Trent Jr., you have Taurean Prince, and Bobby Portis off the bench. I don't know. It helps a little bit because Gary Trent Jr. is could be at least a solid bench player. But AJ Green, he would be in the starting rotation. Taurean Prince, in theory, again, a solid bench player. And I don't know if he's going to help though, because at this one, a solid bench player isn't going to fix the worst bench net rating in the entire NBA. It's at the point now where this team has some serious soul searching to do, and if they don't fix it soon with this, Chris Middleton can't be relied on as a savior anymore. He's not going, well, for one, he's 34 and injury prone. But aside from the fact he's 34 and injury prone, we don't know when he's coming back. And it could be weeks, it could be days, it could be months. So it's going to be very interesting to see. Let me know in the comment section down below what your thoughts are on all of this. Things are getting crazier. We'll keep you up to date with the latest Bucks news, so make sure to hit the subscribe button. And once again, let us know down in the comment section below, would you do that crazy Cam Thomas trade, or would you hold off if you're the Milwaukee Bucks? I think I know the answer for most of you guys. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next video.